guys? Welcome back. Digital Gate Studio time. Basil and I have paired together. We have formed an alliance to talk about a very specific archetype that we both have strong passions for, and it is time for us to provide a worthy competitor to Lopmon with their alliance. What do you got for us?
Before AG was doing 2 checks at 18, we had something that was doing 2 checks at something that 18 could only do in its dreams.
Right.
And that is D Reaper Alliance, which, for those of you who know, is one of the first deck profiles I did on this channel.
Yep.
And it taught me a very valuable lesson, is that the people do not want to see the best deck in the format. The people want to see an awesome deck to play at their locals and have a great time.
Yes. Or maybe find some represented Digimon that they love.
That's right.
Right.
And so the new starter deck came out, and everyone was very excited to build Mega Gargomon Ace.
Tons of things
And
to do
I
with
get that
deck.
because that card is great.
Yeah.
But what I was excited for was some Alliance stuff. And not taking it the Cherubimon route, but rather taking it with a little bit of a different route. So if you haven't seen that profile, this one is going to be the update for you. And so for those of you who don't know, the best way to utilize Alliance is with a 15k egg. So the Mother D Reaper. Obviously, we are not playing a lot of the D Reaper cards, but we are playing a few of them, which we'll talk about later. But mostly it is a free 15k Digimon on your board.
Easy.
Which is very good for our Alliance effect. And now the core of the deck is not only to have a giant Alliance swing with the Mother D Reaper, but the other core of the deck is to set up a pretty menacing security.
Sure.
And the first piece of that has not changed from the original video is the EX2 Lopmon. On play, if you have a shoe and 3 or less security, recover 1.
Nice.
So not only is this good for a rookie to recover 1, which is quite strong even by today's standards, but also we're going to be playing this card from the trash more than we were in the previous build. So this isn't going anywhere.
Love the value you get off that.
Something else that isn't going anywhere but is going down by 1 is the EX4 Lopmon. So this was our original searcher in the deck.
Sure.
It searches top 4 for a 2-color green card and a shoe. We are playing shoes in the deck, obviously, and then getting that, getting those 2-color green cards is sort of the core of the deck to get that alliance going. The reason we're down on this card is actually the inheritable doesn't come up as much because we aren't relying on the level 5s having alliance anymore. So the original strategy with the deck is to go into this Lopmon, go on top of it with one of our level 4 alliance cards, and then going into that Antilimon with the evolution effect. But we have something that I believe is even better, and that is the new structure deck Lopmon.
There we go.
So this card is main, once per turn, give a Digimon alliance. So you can give that to itself.
Yeah.
You can give that to one of your level 4s that don't have alliance, or you can give that to one of our level 5s, or a Digimon maybe that doesn't have a level. But we'll get to that in a second. But the point being, originally the only way to really utilize this D Reaper was with those level 4s.
Yeah.
And then once we were into some of the other Digimon in the deck, there wasn't really a good way to utilize the D Reaper, so it kind of just sat there and kind of just did nothing.
You kind of waited till you got those set up.
But with this Lopmon, we can utilize the Mother D Reaper pretty much no matter what. Now, the core of the deck, obviously, is the EX4 Alliance cards. So that's 3 Terurimon, 3 Wendigomon, and 2 Black Gargomon.
Love this.
So these are these cards all at the end of the day say Alliance, which is suspend Mother D Reaper and do 19k for 2 checks. We're missing out on these inheritables more than we were in the previous build because of the way that the deck has changed with the Lopmon. But it does come up in some instances because we'll be giving Alliance to our level 5s with this Lopmon. That being said, end of attack, neg 2k. End of attack, grab a green Digimon from trash. End of gain 2k when another Digimon is suspended. Those are all pretty good. A card that really surprised me from the starter deck in this particular build is the new starter deck Wendigomon. This card is great. On play and when digivolving, delete a rookie. If it was one of your rookies, play a Lopmon from trash.
That's pretty nice.
So that is quite nice. So a lot of our turns early are hatch the D-Reaper, play a Lopmon. Or hatch the D-Reaper, play a Shoe, play a Lopmon. Then we can either hard play the Wendigomon, get another search off, activate this Lopmon again, gain alliance again, or delete this and recover one more. So that's pretty good. And this deck had a huge problem with effect floodgates. If they have the Pomu, the Pillow, or the Gotsu live, our deck really gets turned off in a major way. This says on play and when digivolving, delete that. So that is quite nice. As well as this card has synergy with a Tamer we'll get into a little bit down the line. Then we'll move on to the 2 Cordramon I decided to keep with from the original deck. We do not have an egg that draws us a card. We do not have Evolve in the Raising, draw a card. So Cordramon kind of supplements that. We're really relying on our Lopmon and our Shoes for card draw in this deck.
Absolutely.
So that Cordramon can come up a little bit clutch. And we are looking to make our security as menacing as possible. And we are trying to fit a wide array of colors in this deck to make our opponent kind of second guess swinging into security.
Sure.
And that's it for the level 4s. We had to make room for the Wendigomons, so we're down on them a little bit, but still got a bunch of them. Then we'll move into the level 5s. We're down on these heavy because we had to make room for the new stuff. So the first is we're sticking with the Chimeramon.
Love it.
And then our 4th Chimeramon is Shakomon.
Yeah. I mean, it makes so much sense, right? With what you can do. You have the yellow, you have the blue.
Yeah, so we've got the yellow, we've got the blue. We get that Jogress off every now and then, but we're really looking to swing 2 checks with Alliance. And then go into Chimeramon and swing again. Or go into Chimeramon and then go into our level 6s. This deck is one that can get a lot of colors really fast.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to pair with our Heaven's Judgment we'll get into later on. But this is sort of our way to push a little bit faster for game. For those of you keeping track at home, we have turn 1, play a Terurimon, Wendigomon, or Black Gargomon a lot. And then turn 2, swinging 2 checks at 19. So that's going to work out most of the time.
Yep.
So if you think about it, we do that, and then the next turn we play another one, and that's going to take them down to 1 security. So if they don't out those Digimon, then we have swing DNA for game.
Yeah, that's a sick way to end
so
the game.
that's pretty dangerous if your opponent doesn't have enough board removal
absolutely.
at that point. And then the Shakomon, like I said, recovery is very nice in this deck. You can put a lot of terrible things for your opponent in that security. So getting that recovery is quite nice. Because you don't have to Jogress to get the recovery. You only get the bounce if you get the Jogress off.
Makes sense to me.
On the level 6, we're sticking with the Alfani fall down mode. Like I said, it's very easy for us to get yellow and purple in our sources. So we're going to get both of the effects most of the time. And then on deletion, play something with Alliance, or play the Wendigomon, kill something, play another Lopmon, whatever the case may be. Alfani Fall Down mode remains one of my favorite cards ever.
Great card.
Our Soul level 7, we're sticking on the Zwart defeat. We're trying to stick with that theme of those security Digimon. It's one of those cards that it doesn't feel great to have in hand because you're only going on top of the Alfani Fall Down. But it just has that small % chance to be that top card in security. Your opponent plays Agumon. Oh, let me just get a chip check in real quick. Level 7 on the board. And it's sort of like, all right, here we go.
And even if they delete it, they have to deal with the repercussions, right?
That's right. So that's one of the ways that this deck can be extremely disruptive. Your opponent has to think real long and hard before they start hitting you. And the last reason that is, in the Digimon at least, is Gatekeeper.
Love this.
So
Love
it's the ultimate synergy with Mother and Gatekeeper here is that play it out of security, recover 1. It does not battle. So if you're swinging with a rookie and hit this, it's going to live. But it is going to get swung over on that next turn. And then there's a 10K beater just looking at you. There's a lot that people miss about the D-Reaper strategy, and most of it crystallizes into this one card. D-Reaper support, please, Bandai. We want an update for that deck. And so where we go from here is something that absolutely cannot change, and that is 4 Tactical Retreat. This card was
fun.
from the original Advanced deck, the Bielsamon deck, and it's one of the best arts in the game.
It's a great altar.
If you look on here, all you see is security Digimon. So we got the Meikumon, the Leomon, the Harrismon there's security rookie. Beautiful art and a beautiful card in this deck.
Yes.
And something else that has not changed is that Heaven's Judgment. So we get up to a lot of colors in this deck.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Something that a lot of players, when reading this card, don't understand is it doesn't count sources.
Yep.
So if you are into Shikomon, it counts yellow and blue.
Yep.
And that's why you really have to take advantage of the Chimeramon.
I was gonna say that's probably where they get it mixed up. Thinking about the Chimera.
The Chimeramon counts as all the Digimon and sources.
Yep.
So when you DNA Chimeramon with Wendigomon, Black Mega Gargomon on top of a Lopmon and Tuck Cordramon, you're all of those colors. And so that's when the Heaven's Judgment activates for +6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36.
I love it.
And that's pretty strong because you can split it up. If it's restricted, we play it. Reinforcing Memory Boost stays in. This card is absolutely nuts in this deck. You play it for 6, you grab a Lopmon to hand, you put a Zwart Defeat on top of your security, Gatekeeper, Heaven's Judgment, whatever the case. You're going to be set up perfectly well. And then delay gain 3 memory is quite good. It wouldn't be a Basil deck without it. Triple Blinding Ray. We need to set up our security to -3 a lot of the times to get cards back in our hand, as well as to activate our Lopmon. And if we know what that top card is through some of our effects, then we can trash that card safely. As well as we do not have access to cards like Green Memory Boost or Agility Training or anything like that, because our deck is too widely varied in color. So Blinding Ray is the way to get access to some of that memory to push for game. Our most important shoe is the EX2 Shu Chong. On play a Lopmon. Start of turn, if you have 3 or less security, draw a card. So our best turn 1 really in this deck is play Shu, play this, one of these 2 Lopmons, get your search on, set up 16k for 2 checks, whatever the case may be. Then if they put you below 3 security, every turn you're going to draw an extra card. We are down on the Memory Setter Kari down to just the 1.
Sure.
Because we had to make room for the EX4 Henry and Shu.
Finally, that card's getting some action.
Yeah, it didn't make sense in the original build of this deck because we didn't have access to this Lopmon.
Yeah.
So one thing that's really good about this card is we can go into this Lopmon, and even though it can't Evo, we can still use its main effect to give something Alliance. So if we're into a Chimeramon, we pass. They don't out it. We use the Henry and Shu to play out the Lopmon. It can't Evo. Give the Chimera Alliance. And then the Chimera is 8k plus the 4 from its ability, plus 15. So that's 27 for 2 checks.
27k, baby.
That's quite nice. And the other thing with this card is with the new Wendigomon, this card says, play a Lopmon at the end of your opponent's turn, it will die.
Sure.
But if we kill it with the Wendigomon and then play out a new one, that one won't die at the end of your turn. So this Wendigomon really makes this Henry and Shu stand out.
Like an early taste of those BT16 Tamers we're coming up on. So.
That's right. Yeah, this was sort of the prototype.
Yeah.
And it's finally starting to find some love. I do want to mention that it is errata in this text or in this art. But it doesn't matter for our version of the deck because we're never using that ability because I do not think this is what Bandai had intended for this strategy.
Yeah.
But this is for sure the best way to play it. And so that's the list. Guys, it's a lot of fun. This is one of your post-local tournament decks. So you finish with the local. You just played 4 rounds of Wargrey.
Yeah.
And you just want to unwind with some D-Reaper Alliance. Put this deck together. It's a ton of fun to play. And so that's the list, guys. The updates, this is exactly what we needed. We needed this Lopmon. We needed a good way to play this Henry and Shu. We needed that Wendigo. And that's going to do it for us. We've got a bunch more deck profiles coming, so stay tuned. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.